Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and work through these problems. Now I'm going to go ahead and be using this original formula, the one that we are most familiar with, using the f of n rather than the a sub 1, okay? But just remember that that's all information that it's interchangeable. So here we're going to be writing the rule for the nth term and then find a sub 19, which means we are looking for f of 19 each time, okay? The 19th term. So either way that you see it written, that's exactly what it means. All right, so first thing we need to do is find our difference. So 30 to 26, we're subtracting 4, and that's what we're doing each time. So our difference is negative 4, and our first term value is 30. Okay, it's the very first term here that's given to us. So we're going to use the formula, f of n is equal to f of 1. So I'm going to plug in the value for f of 1, which is 30, plus d here, which is a negative 4. If you want to just write that as negative 4 or minus 4, that's perfectly fine. Multiplied by n minus 1. Okay, and now we are looking for specifically f of 19. Okay, so remember on each of these, when you are working through them on your own, you need to make sure that you remember that you need to write the rule first before you try to solve anything. So you need to have it written just like this, and then you can plug in your values that you need to plug in. So 30 minus 4 multiplied by, and remember it's 19 minus 1, so I'm going to go ahead and put in 18. Okay, and now at this point I'm just going to plug this value or this information into our calculator. Okay, you're going to multiply 4 times 18, and then you're going to subtract what you get from 30. And so you come up with a value of negative 42. Okay, so that's going to be your answer on this. The 19th term is negative 42. All right, so let's go ahead and look at a couple more examples. So starting with 13. Okay, so remember we do need to know our, I'm going to write our explicit rule up here again. Excuse me for my throat clearing. All right, so to go from negative 2 to 0, we're adding 2, adding 2, adding 2 each time. So our difference here is a positive 2. Our first value here, the very first value, is a negative 2, so that's what I'm going to be plugging into my formula. So first term is negative 2, difference is a positive 2 multiplied by n minus 1. And now I'm still looking for that 19th term because that applies to numbers 10 through 15. So I'm going to plug in 19. So instead of 19, 19 minus 1 is 18, so now I'm going to plug that into the calculator. So first thing I do is multiply 2 times 18, and then I am going to add that to negative 2. So our value for 19 is going to be 34. Okay? And then we move on down here, and we are subtracting, it looks like 9 each time.
Tammy Fair from the office.
I apologize for the announcement. All right, so we are going to be, yes, subtracting 9 each time. So our difference here is going to be a negative 9, and the first term is that first number, which is 101. So we plug those values into that equation again. So first term is 101. We have a difference of negative 9. Everything else is the same in the equation. And now we are looking for f of 19. So we plug it in. 19 minus 1 is 18. And now we're just going to type that into our calculator. So we multiply 9 times 18. We subtract that from 101. And we find out that the 19th value is negative 61. Okay? All right, so you're going to complete 10, 12, and 14 on your own for your quiz. You're going to complete number 16, and I'm going to help you with this word problem on number 17 to get you started, okay? So part A, we're going to write a formula, and then part B, we're going to look for the balance after 2 years, okay? So the total bank loan for Sarah's new car is $15,265, and the bank automatically withdraws $295.08 each month. So I can already tell you that because this is what's being taken out each month, my difference is going to be 295.8, okay? But it's being withdrawn. That means it's being taken out. So it's going to be subtracted from, okay, the loan that she took out. So it's going to be a negative difference, all right? Now, the first term is where it could get a little bit tricky if you're not paying close attention. This is the total amount of the loan. Each month, we lose $295. So the first term is going to be at the end of the first month. So we have to subtract this first term, or this first amount, from the original to find the first term. So it's actually going to be 15,265 minus 295.8 to find our first term. Okay, so we do that on the calculator, and we get 14,969.2. That is our actual first term. So we're going to plug that into our formula, and we have 14,969.2 as our first term. Here's our difference, minus 295.8, and we multiply it by n minus 1. So part A, this is our formula that we're going to use for part B. All right, part B is asking us to find the balance of the loan after 2 years. Okay, so it would be easy for us to automatically assume that we're looking for f of 2. Okay, but be careful, because this is talking about months and this is talking about years. So we're going to have to convert that years into months so that we can know exactly which term we're looking for. Okay, so we're not looking for 2 years or 2 months. We're looking for 24 months, because that's how many months are in 2 years. So we are actually going to be looking for f of 24 here. So I'm going to plug that into my equation. And when I plug in that 24, I subtract 1, I get 23. And then I can put that whole thing into my calculator. And so I multiply the 295.8 times 23. And I subtract it from this 14,969.2. And so at the end of 24 months, or 2 years, she still has $8,165.80 left on her loan. And notice that I know that it's a situation, I know that it has a unit of dollars, so that is how I'm going to write my answer here, with $, with the decimal, and written out as 80, okay, because that's how we would write that amount in money. So that means that after 24 months, she has $8,000 left to pay on that loan, okay? All right, so remember, you are doing the even numbers to complete this assignment for a quiz grade. So that means you need to complete 16, which will be similar to number 17. You need to complete 12 and 14, which will be similar to 13 and 15. You also need to complete 10, which is similar to number 11. And then you also need to complete 8, 6, 4, and 2, okay? And then that way you'll have all of the problems, all right? So remember, quiz grade, it needs to be turned in today. Make sure you get it back to me. If you have any questions, let me know. You can use your quiz, you can ask questions. Just make sure that you get this completed.